I think sometimes founders get a little upset when people say no, when investors say no. Well, your valuation is just stupid, right? Even if you're successful, and the odds of you being successful are small, no matter how good your idea is, they're not going to make any money on that.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure that, it's a market. They want something, you want something. Where do you meet in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I've actually heard founders say, well, you have money, so you should give me some. Actually say that, right? You're rich, you should give me some money. No.
That's
you
not
should
how this
create
works.
a value proposition for them that says, I can get richer by investing in this person.
Welcome to the Venture Café Phoenix podcast. Today, I am excited to sit down with one of my favorite people who has truly helped shape Arizona's technology and innovation ecosystem. He is the co-founder and principal of PADT, a company that has spent over 30 years helping innovators turn ideas into real products through engineering, simulation, product development, and advanced manufacturing. Beyond building one of Arizona's most respected engineering firms, he has served as the chair of Arizona Tech Council, or Technology Council, ambassador and a board member of Venture Café Phoenix, and has mentored countless founders, invested in startups, and contributed to STEM initiatives across the state. He has become one of the most trusted voices in Arizona's innovation community and is often referred to as the mayor of our ecosystem. Please help me welcome Eric Miller.
That was not my idea. Hi.
Eric, I'm so excited to have you on the podcast.
So good to be here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love talking about it.
Absolutely. So you're a part of our Venture Café community. And you were also part of the founding story here. And I would love for you to share your experience as to why Venture Café and what was your involvement in that startups?
So I've been involved in the Arizona startup community for a long time. Initially, our company does a lot of things, and one of them is we help people design and prototype their ideas. So we were working with startups doing hardware early on, and then we got into angel investing. So that was kind of my big introduction to the startup world beyond just doing a service provider, was investing in these companies. And then it's a drug, right? So that leads you to being a mentor, because you want these companies to succeed and you see the opportunity and use your experience to do that. And then that got me, my involvement with the Tech Council got me involved in more of a community aspect of helping people. And as these incubators were coming and going in the community, I just got involved with a lot of them. And the Center for Entrepreneurial Innovation is one of the ones that we were involved in from an early day. And we actually used to have office space there when they first started. And so it was a really close relationship. So when Venture Café started, it seemed like a great opportunity for us to get involved and for me to see what I could do to help and see how it went. And I've kind of adopted the philosophy of I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I know if we don't try, it won't. And so let's see what happens. The worst thing will happen is it doesn't work. And so it turned out to work really well.
Well, thank you. It's partly attributed to you and all the people part of our community who helped drive that. With PADT, what inspired you to start that organization? And what was the problem you were looking to solve?
So the three of us that started the company were engineers at what's now Honeywell Aerospace. It's gone through a lot of name changes. Back then it was Allied Signal. And we were doing very advanced engineering around turbo machinery. So we were doing jet engines and power supplies for airplanes, very high-end engineering. So the two industries that do the kind of the leading edge engineering stuff are turbo machinery and rockets. And so we were on that path. And we saw the technology we were using as something that would become democratized over time. And that not just aerospace companies would use it, but every engineering company, anybody designing a product would use this advanced computer-aided engineering is what we called it at the time. So we thought, okay, we're in the middle of a bunch of layoffs, 1994. Let's go ahead and take a voluntary layoff here and start a consulting company. And if it doesn't work in the aerospace world, they will start hiring again in 2 to 3 years. So we'll give it a shot. If it doesn't work, well, yeah, it worked. So that was 32 years ago.
Wow.
And we still do that. We still provide advanced simulation, advanced design, and advanced manufacturing, mostly in the form of 3D printing, but other things as well. And we not only do consulting around that, but we also sell the tools we use, which was what we didn't expect. So our mission was really to be experts doing consulting as experts to help companies be more effective with their engineering. And what we ended up doing is also selling and supporting the tools. And that became a much bigger part of our business than we ever intended. And to be honest, the most profitable part of our business.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I was going to ask you the next question is how, since the 90s, you've been able to keep this technology forward organization at the forefront. How are you navigating that now in the world of AI?
The same way we navigated all these changes. So it's old enough now to where the web was new. We started about the time the web started, like 94, right? And so we had one of the early websites, and it's the same problem. You gotta have really intelligent people that aren't stuck in a rut and are able to learn about and adapt to new things. And that's our employees, and that's been key to keeping up with things. And then you got to listen to experts and then bring new people in. You have to hire new people that can do it. The difference with AI is how fast it's moving.
Yeah.
We've always been able to kind of, watch and keep up and kind of go maybe on the leading edge or right behind the leading edge. This time it's wow. It's so fast and so changing so fast. And what we've basically done is the engineers and salespeople and administrative people in our organization that have shown a desire to incorporate this into their workday, we've given them access to paid tools and a lot of rules, because you have to be really careful when you're dealing with customer data and government data and things like that.
Yeah.
Setting up our own server in-house as well, our model in-house, I guess I should say, and letting them just do it. And that's been the hard part for me, is to not, I usually am the one doing that in the past. And this time I'm like, no, I'm going to stay out of it. It's their turn. And maybe my brain's not as elastic as it used to be. So maybe I'll let somebody younger push through on this one.
I think that is a testament to your leadership and your leadership style. I know, my primary business is Elemental Business, and we go in and help founders get out of that operator mindset and empower their teams.
Yeah.
And I would say this is just a prime example of your success too, is being able to empower employees.
Yeah. It's a struggle for me. I am the kind of person, sometimes I do stuff that I shouldn't, and my employees will go, you probably shouldn't be doing this. I'm like, I kind of wanna. So I'm going to do it. But in general, I found that, they'll invite me to meetings and I'm like, no, you don't need me there. I'm just going to talk and interrupt and tell stories about the old days. And that's not going to help anybody. So you guys let me know if you need any help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really tough transition though.
I struggle with it every day.
I equate it to, you're a parent, right?
Yeah.
The process of you're growing a child and then you become their coach and then you set them free and you just hope you taught them everything they needed to know.
Exactly. And be there when they need help. It's the same thing, right? When my adult children text me at 2:00 in the morning, I panic and realize that they were just like, I had a really good night and I thought I'd let you know.
Aww.
And it's wonderful. But sometimes they need our help.
Yeah.
And but letting them, it's exactly right. I can't run their life anymore. I can just be there when they need the help. And same thing with employees, is that if you hire them right and give them the tools they need and either hire for the experience or let them grow the experience, it really becomes more about giving them clear direction and then helping them when they get stuck, rather than telling them what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And letting them fail.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the whole fail thing. I don't like to fail. I'm of the old school that rockets shouldn't blow up. You should use simulation in design so it doesn't blow up.
Simulation is a failure.
No, we don't. We figure out. So we do test and simulation, but yeah. And so, but yes, it's more of a philosophical thing. One of the issues that we've always had is the fear. What happens if it doesn't work? And you have to sit down. I was talking to a young entrepreneur that's doing a startup for a consumer product yesterday. And we talked about this. And I said, well, think about, if this fails, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Are you going to lose your house? Then you should probably think about it. If you're going to have to go get a job back in corporate America and still keep your house, then yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
And what's your level of risk, and really think about what's the worst case, and are you willing to accept that risk? And if you are, go for it. And same thing's true in just working on a project, right?
Yeah.
If I try this new motor drive on this thing we're working on right now that no one's tried before, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Well, I've got a backup motor, so I'm good.
It's a very engineering answer.
I try not to, but I do go there.
No, I think it's fantastic. And I would attribute like the risk threshold there, is a smart one, and being able to mitigate risk to ensure success of everything you do, whether it's your investments, your products, running your team, building the culture. I think that's super important to know your risk threshold. Yeah.
And that's why I don't like the fail fast thing is that, or the whole fail. It's not fail fast is actually a smart thing. The whole idea of we need to fail to learn. No, that tells people you don't have to think. You just try.
Yeah.
Let's think a little bit. Let's try not to fail. But when you do fail, learn from it. Go back and do the iterations of, well, why did it fail? Root cause analysis, the engineering stuff.
So if there was some advice you were to give to a new founder, a new startup, with this failure ideation in mind, what would that advice be?
I think, over the years, seeing companies succeed and companies fail, a lot of times it's because they didn't follow. We all talk about minimum viable product and product market fit, right? It's like stuck in our heads, but we don't always do it. and the advice I would give is live that, right? Do a true minimum viable product. Get it out there in front of people. Find out if there's product market fit. It's not like the old days where people were just throwing money at problems, right? And so in order to raise money now, you really have to show you know what you're doing, and keeping things in small bite-sized chunks, getting feedback, making sure you have product market fit at every point. And that would be my number one piece of advice to folks is don't just say that, live by it. Be obsessed with that idea.
Yeah.
To the point where your employees like roll their eyes every time you say product market fit. That's the right level of obsession.
And to determine, I like working with so many founders within the Venture Cafe community and also with Elemental, I think you can say that and then like, well, we showed it to 4 people and they loved it.
Yeah.
And they think that's enough.
That's not.
No.
Did they write a check? I mean, that's the thing I was talking about with the guy that was doing a consumer product. Is for consumer products, Kickstarter is a wonderful platform because he doesn't even have to make anything more than a prototype and some marketing material and then put it out there and see if people are willing to actually pay money for the idea. We don't have that in a water treatment facility that costs $5 million.
No.
But we still have to convince the customer that they're willing to do a pilot program for $500,000 to prove the technology out. And that's something I lost a lot of money investing on. Is I loved the idea. Everybody in the room thought it was a great idea and thought it would make a lot of money. But when it came time to say it's $100 a month, people said, I don't really need it that bad. And it's been a real learning experience for me. That it's why a lot of investors today are a little frustrated, and they frustrate founders because they won't invest pre-revenue.
Yeah.
Because we're really bad at deciding what's going to actually succeed at that threshold that people will pay money for it. And so the safe thing to do is wait for people to spend money on it.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a problem in the ecosystem around the world that we need to deal with. We've kind of swung back the other way. We're not taking any risk until we see revenue. But I think that's the key thing is that, go out and if you're doing a high-tech product, go out and get customer feedback, turn that into features, and then turn that into a specification, and then turn the specification into features. These various processes for product development exist for a reason. They work.
Yeah. No, it's great advice. When you mentioned the investor ecosystem here. And that's something I think we're hearing a lot more about when we're talking with our stakeholders in Venture Cafe. Is how do we attract those investors? How do we engage with them? And this is a very young market, I think, for entrepreneurs. What is some advice you would give to, and I guess it'd be a 2-part question, to investors that are coming into the market, but also to the founders who are looking for those investments?
Let's start with investors. What's best for the ecosystem is have a lot of money and not care if you lose it all, and just be really, really
Love those
don't care
people.
about risk and just invest to people because you like the cut of their jib. That's not going to happen. So I think really decide what your thesis is, communicate it clearly to people that are interested in getting money from you. And this relates to the second question, the second part of the question, in that make sure that investors understand what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Really successful VCs, and my favorite VC happens to be here in Phoenix. It's called Pangea Ventures. And one of the things I love about them is they're brutally clear about what they're looking for. They're not nice about it because they've learned that that's a waste of time for everybody. This is what they're looking for. If you don't have it, we're going to talk to you because you might get there.
Yeah.
But we're not going to give you any money. And I think that even early stage investors, angel investors, pre-angel investors, seed investors need to be more clear and brutally honest to the founders what they're looking for and what they're willing to invest in. And it can be disappointing,
Yeah.
but it saves a lot of time, and maybe it'll solve the second problem, which is, okay, what advice do I give to startups now, which has changed over time, is you have to understand what your investors care about.
Yeah.
And what they care about is making money. And they don't, yeah, they're doing angel investing because they want to help the ecosystem. Yeah, because they think technology is cool. Yeah, because they may have been successful and they want to support other people that are going on the same journey, but they really want to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they want to do it with the least amount of risk possible. So I think sometimes founders get a little upset when people say no, when investors say no. Well, your valuation is just stupid, right? Even if you're successful, and the odds of you being successful are small, no matter how good your idea, they're not going to make any money on that.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure that, it's a market. They want something, you want something. Where do you meet in the middle?
Mhm.
And I think that I've actually heard founders say, well, you have money, so you should give me some. Actually say that, right? You're
I've heard
rich,
it
you should
too.
give me some money. No,
No,
no.
that's
You
not how
should
this
create a
works.
value proposition for them that says, I can get richer by investing in this
Mhm.
person.
I think building that relationship too, if you
Yes.
are trying
Yeah.
to do it where it's not providing the same returns, you really have to know your investor and what motivates them and what their passions are, because they'll be more willing.
It's not, we rationalize our decisions
Mhm.
after we make them, but I've seen, and I myself have been in a room with a bunch of angel investors and someone pitches, and I think we kind of decide within a minute whether we're going to invest in that company.
For sure.
You can change your mind. You
Yeah.
can definitely turn it around or ruin it. You can definitely do both.
Yeah.
But we spend the rest of the pitch justifying that gut feel. So if our initial gut, within that first minute is, this is a great idea, we're going to look for evidence to prove it's a good idea. If we think this is stupid, we're going to look for reasons to prove that it was stupid. So it's really important that first two slides to convince them that this is something they will make money on.
Yeah.
And also the soft stuff. They want to invest in people they want to hang out with, right? They want to be part of that. They want to be part of the company. They want to be, we used to call it, nobody goes to cocktail parties anymore. We used to call it cocktail fodder, right? Is I want to go to a cocktail party and go, I just invested in this quantum mechanics startup, this blah, blah, blah. And everybody goes, oh my God, you're so wonderful. We don't do that anymore, but maybe happy hour at the local pub. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of that, but you have to convince them they're going to make money first.
Yeah. And how important, someone can have a great idea, but how important is it that the person who's pitching the idea or the team meshes with you and your team?
Yeah, I heard a VC once give a talk here in Phoenix about, he was from the Bay Area, and he said one of the things we don't get here, and I think he was right, is he heard a pitch. He's a new grad from with an MBA, right? He knows nothing about technology, and he knew nothing about the problem or the solution. He really liked the guy presenting, and he followed him down a hallway and gave him his business card and said, "Paul, I want to invest in."
Wow.
And now that's at the VC level. It's a little bit different than angel investing, but that's real, right? That human connection can overcome all of this technology. You still have to convince them they're going to make money.
Yeah.
But that's really strong. The saying that we like to throw around is investors invest in the jockey, not the horse. And it's true.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hmm.
I'm going to bring up a little bit of a controversial
Okay.
topic.
Okay.
So women,
Yes.
me being a woman
Yes.
and with the Women's Entrepreneur Network at Venture Cafe,
Mhm.
we hear all this rhetoric of like, well, investors are investing in women. And what I've seen personally is just this problem. Women are solving problems for community, for, civic reasons without a scalable build or something that could be very profitable. It's more
Yeah.
of a nonprofit model. And it's so disappointing to have to tell women, and I'm sure there's men founders out there doing this
Yeah.
too, that
Yeah.
like this is the reality of it. They're looking to make money. It's not that they don't want to invest in women. They
Yeah.
want to make money.
Yeah, it's a big topic.
Yeah.
And I at the last Venture Cafe last Thursday, I met a young man who's in that exact same boat, right?
Yeah.
He has a wonderful idea to help people with mental health issues transition from treatment to mainstream in life.
Yeah.
And he's proven that it works. There's no money there. His payer is Medicare, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or Medicaid, which one it is. But there's no money there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a whole different business model, and that becomes a charitable investment. It becomes grants. It becomes other things. Unfortunately, that's the way the world works. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I wish there are high net worth individuals you could go talk to and say, I like this idea. Here's $10 million. Go make it happen. They're
Right.
out there,
Right.
but that's a whole other discussion. So from a female entrepreneur standpoint, the wonderful thing about female entrepreneurs is that they do care.
Yeah.
And they do come to it with more heart. I mean, this
Mhm.
is a generalization, and it's a bell curve, and there's
Yes,
extremes
obviously.
on either side. But if you look at the mean, they come to it with more heart. They come to it more in not just the financial benefit.
Mhm.
And medical is a great example of that. In that people come with treatments or devices all the time that improve patient outcomes,
Yeah.
and they're dedicated to that and quality of life. The medical system in America doesn't care. How does the doctor make more money? Not save money,
Mhm.
but make more money. And
Mhm.
I don't care about patient outcomes. I wish I could. And maybe you can find a charity that does or a nonprofit that does. But when it comes to investors, what they care about is they know that if the person writing the check to the company that's making the device or the treatment, if that person writing that check doesn't make more money, increase their revenue and their profit, they're not going to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a harsh
It's sad.
reality.
It's hard. Sad. And so, yeah, I think that we need to, with female entrepreneurs, we need to just kind of help them understand the reality of that, and it's while keeping their heart,
Mhm.
because I think that's why they're usually more successful. That when female entrepreneurs do get funded, the statistics show that they have a greater success rate.
Yeah.
They exit with higher numbers because I think they do bring a bigger, again, stereotyping, but the average,
Bigger why?
they bring a bigger view of the world
Yeah.
to it, and that's why they're more successful. But getting to the point where they can be successful, they may have to change a little bit and put that long-term societal benefit a little bit lower on the totem pole
Mhm.
until they have enough money of their own to go and do that stuff.
Yeah, as like a secondary piece of that
Yeah,
business.
exactly.
Absolutely. Why is it important for experienced founders and business leaders to stay engaged with their communities? And what are some of the resources you think founders could find from organizations like the Tech Council and Venture Cafe that could help solve some of these problems for them?
Yeah, the big thing about, you have to do a balance, right? I've seen founders fail because they're spending all their time being engaged with the community and
Yes.
not actually doing work, it's a nice distraction. But at the same time, that there is the balance, and I think the biggest benefit is the network,
Yeah.
right? So you need people and service providers and tools to be successful, and you can save a lot of time and money if you're engaged at the right level, still focused on building your business, and then use that network, right? Don't just show up to the events, but create connections with people and get a good sense for who's going to be somebody you should network with and who just wants to sell you something.
Mhm.
And you'll get that sense pretty good. And then those are the people that are going to help you succeed. And I
Yeah.
think that's the biggest benefit. The Tech Council is a great example of that. We don't focus on startups. We're just there for technology company, which most startups are. When we talk about startups, I talk about technology startups. So they fit in that, right? So we have the connections we have seminars, we have events, we have really people in the industries that you're trying to sell into that you can create relationships with. We also have service providers that you can they've kind of been vetted, right? They don't last in the tech. They don't last in the tech council very long if they're not very good.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it doesn't
We need
last
the
long.
vetting.
Yeah, and so that vetting's there. Creating those relationships is there, and there's other people that can recommend. I mean, all the time, people are small companies and startups, companies moving here from California. Like, well, who should I need an IP attorney. Well, I know 3 or 4 from both Venture Café and the Tech Council, right? And Venture Café is kind of that on steroids in that people are in that bottom floor of the PVC building for a lot of different reasons, but we're all there because we are interested in venture.
Yeah.
And that brings us all together regardless of why and how and what we're going to do with it. And so, yeah, those connections can be invaluable, and it can save you so many times. It can help you find your employee. I mean, I calculated before I came down here, we have 3 people working for us that I met at Venture Café. Right?
Wow.
Yeah. And, that's just the way it kind of works. And I've helped people find jobs. We've done work for people because we met them at Venture Café. And so I would be one of those, hopefully, if you're doing a hardware company, PADT, our company, is one of the companies you hope to run into, right? Because we can help you get your product to market faster.
Yes.
Right? And so, yeah, those so important to do that work. So that's the other benefit. There's lots of other things that are kind of tertiary, but that's kind of the relationships are so important.
Yeah. And I assume that's why you come to Venture Café every Thursday?
I do. Yeah. When I'm in town, I don't have anything else going on, I'm at Venture Café, and every time I'm like, well, it's kind of getting. I had my 100th Venture Café a couple weeks ago.
You did recently.
It was really kind of cool, and I thought, well, maybe it's time to do something else. And then I go and I met like an amazing new grad from ASU who's just trying to figure out where she fits into the ecosystem, and it was just to watch her just kind of stand up straight and not knowing anybody in the room and just start talking to people. It was amazing. And then I met a guy that's an expert in, I'm not even going to get into it, an obscure semiconductor packaging and technology. And we talked for 30 minutes on that, and I think we'll probably do business together. I think we could use his service.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So yeah, it's just, and that happens every time. And then I go, oh, that's why I come. And then it's fun. Then we go to pizza, we talk. We may talk about the weather. We may talk about quantum mechanics. We may talk about programming. We may talk about what it was like when we were kids and everything's changed, And some of the people are 30, so it hasn't been that long.
It's a reality.
But it's changed in 30 years. Yeah.
No, that's wonderful. All right. You ready for the rapid fire?
I'm ready for rapid fire.
Let's do this.
Okay.
All right. So what is the number one biggest lesson that you learned in the last 30 plus years of running your own business?
Human relationships are the most important thing.
So good. What is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
For me personally, stop taking yourself so seriously.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I have a problem with that.
And then in a true Venture Café style, how can we help you?
Let people know who are developing physical products that need engineering help or engineering tools, like simulation tools especially. Reach out. We've got great pricing. You don't have to pay full price for their simulation tools if you're a startup. And we're here to help you grow and become successful and I always like to say, what we're about for startups is making sure your product actually does what you want it to and getting to scale and then exit faster.
I love it. Thank you, Eric,
for
being on the
Great
podcast.
Discussion. Yeah, love it.
Thanks
for doing Venture Café.
Oh, and thank you for making it possible. I mean, we could not have started Venture Café without your influence and helping bring it to Phoenix. So really appreciate everything you've done for us.
It's been a fun journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Venture Café Phoenix, an extraordinary podcast. Join us every week as we explore the ideas, partnerships, and people making Arizona a place to build. And if you're in Phoenix, come join us in person every Thursday from 4:30 to 7 at 850 PBC in the Phoenix BioCore, downtown Phoenix. Come as you are, show up when you can, and be part of a movement. It's free to attend, and yes, believe it or not, parking is free too. Venture Café Phoenix is made possible by the Center for Entrepreneurial Innovation at Gateway Community College part of the Maricopa Community Colleges system, and it's also supported by the Maricopa Community Colleges Foundation, the organization behind Venture Café Phoenix and a catalyst for entrepreneurship, innovation, and community building throughout Arizona. Special thank you to our legacy sponsor, the City of Phoenix, and our founding sponsors, Arizona Commerce Authority, Phoenix Bioscience Corps, Arizona State University, and Wexford Science and Technology. If you'd like to help us continue these conversations and help keep them ad-free and available to all, you can make a contribution at mccc, that's 3Cs, df.org/donate. Select Other, enter Venture Café Phoenix, and if you'd like to support on an ongoing basis, check the box, make this a recurring gift. This podcast is powered by Extraordinary Podcast Network, the network for thought leaders. Learn more about Extraordinary at joinextraordinary.com. Recorded in the Extraordinary studio at Cul-de-sac, America's first purpose-built car-free neighborhood. Until next time, keep building, connecting, and innovating, and we'll see you at Venture Café Phoenix.